Ready when you are.
Oh yeah, going live on Facebook.
Oh, I need cilantro on my teeth.
Yes.
We are live.
Oh, lifers, what's happening?
Yeah, baby.
Live.
Stand
It
the
is
man.
Atlas Pro Talk. It is a beautiful Tuesday, early in the week edition. So happy Tuesday to you. I'm joined by two really cool dudes we're going to talk to today. Let me introduce them in just a second. But if you're just joining us live, we appreciate you being here with us. And as always, make sure you comment, give us a wave, say hello, and you guys will have a chance to win an Asphalt Life prize pack so you can be as cool as the other side of the pillow, as my man Stuart Scott used to say, man. Rest in peace. I miss Stuart Scott. I saw some video of Stuart Scott watching The Last Dance, Michael Jordan's that documentary, and I miss Stuart Scott probably as much as I miss watching Michael Jordan play. Anyway, a lot of asides, but I was feeling about talking about Last Dance because we're talking to two guys from Chicago. We have got AJ Nickol and Angel Rios in the house. Welcome, guys. How are you, Angel? What's up, man?
I am fantastic. It's Cinco de Mayo, my friend.
Yes.
And I am excited. AJ, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
You look so good. I don't understand how
Wow.
your teeth
It
remain so.
It's like a bromance. There's a lot of love happening right now on Cinco de Mayo.
And Stan, I don't think do we ever talked about my birthday wishes for you last year? Was it last year?
We're gonna talk about it. I've got it pulled up, man. I got the video ready.
No, you
sure.
don't. No, please
Yes.
don't.
Nobody can top that. No one, not even my own family, can top that.
You probably have an intro, but can I start with my favorite story about Stan?
Okay,
Very quick.
It's your world. It's your world.
Okay, so Stan and I do not know each other very well, except for one time that he came. Oh, hold on one second.
There.
Hold on. One time, you with me?
Yep, we got you.
All right. So one time, you were teaching a class for like starting companies, and the thing that you said that caught my attention the most was, do not pray for a storm. You have to have a plan, which makes sense. Great strategy to have for a business. And 2 weeks later, we got the worst hailstorm ever in the Naperville area. And I meant to call you just to say, see, man?
That's right. When you're not planning for it, that's when you're going to get it.
That's right.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was great.
Absolutely.
I'm actually adjusting here this thing.
Icing
But
on the
no,
cake.
I mean, I know that that's really not the way to go about it, but I just couldn't believe it. That's exactly. So it was you, basically. You're the one who started this hellstorm.
That's like my special magical way. It's my version of a hail dance is to tell people don't plan for the storm and you'll get
exactly.
it. Right? So,
Yep.
Well, we also got AJ Nickol in the house. AJ is
Hello.
our wonderful rep from Chicago. A few bags under those eyes. AJ has got a new addition in the family. AJ,
Yes.
tell us about your new baby,
That's
man.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, my wife, we had a baby girl named Tatum 2 weeks ago.
Right,
She's doing great. Got a 4-year-old son, Grant, and a 11-month-old son named Brooks. And yes, that is 2 kids within 1 year. And that's
number 3.
But yeah, that's 3. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we
3
got 2
under 5, man. That is legit. That is like good luck with that. I've got 3, but they're spread out.
Yeah.
That takes some courage, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Courage.
I thought, how can I be the most courageous person? And I said, you know what, 2 kids in 1 year.
Yeah.
Let's do
I hope
that.
your wife isn't listening because she's like, don't even go there, buddy.
She's gonna
Don't
tackle
even go
me.
there. You don't know nothing about courage.
I know. I better shut up. Back to
Well,
Angel.
hey, quick shout outs. We got a bunch of people watching. We are so excited to have y'all on today. Alex Zaniga said, what's up? Brian P, Jim K, Justin Earl. We've also got Eric watching and Donald all saying.
Wait, was that?
Eric said that was the best hailstorm ever. So he was talking about your storm, Angel. He's like,
Oh yeah,
he's reminiscing, missing that storm.
that Naperville storm was something of beauty. It was incredible. It was. I've never seen anything like that. It was like someone actually came to there was a particular street, and it looked like someone came with a machine gun, just shooting everything in the area. It looks like a like a crime scene. That was awful,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it
so
was. It
delicious.
was crime, man. It was crime on roofs, man. Asphalt life crime. So
Crimes on roof. That's a good one.
well, hey, let's talk a little bit about Ranger Exteriors, man. Let's talk a little bit about how you got started in the industry in general, what attracted you to this, and then you started Ranger Exteriors 3 years ago, and give us a little sense of your background in the industry and how you've been successful over the last few years.
Yeah, I used to work for a company for about 9 years that were doing home inspections for relocation companies, and from there, I wanted to start my own business, so I started reading all those books about business consulting and how to have a great culture and whatnot. Thinking I'm gonna start a business, I used to know what, and the opportunity opened up for me to start working for a company in Naperville doing the exact same thing that I'm doing now. And they gave me all the training that I needed in books, finances, roof inspections, production, ordering material. So I was able to gather all that information and start my own thing back in 2018. This is our 3rd year in business. And what I love about how things panned out was that I wanted to start with a whole mentality or mindset of starting my own business and not necessarily starting a roofing company. So the struggles of learning everything that I could in order to be able to be a decent, legit company, having the know-how required me to get a lot of people that are much better than me at all those different aspects of this business that I did not know about.
Right. I think that's huge, right? Like this is an incredible industry and space to try and build a great business out of, right? You don't have to have all the experience. And I think that's a great, piece of advice for anybody, like you're not supposed to have it all right figured out, right? You're supposed to bring people into the organization that can help you fill those gaps in and grow. You just have to have the vision. I think that's the key, right? So talk a little bit about, that training by fire. We just had a comment, Jim K just
from Jim.
Give us a sense of what that training by fire has been like as a business owner that is in his 3rd year in business. What are some of those lessons? So some of those things you figured out over the last few years that have been both painful and unbelievably refreshing. Give us some examples.
So there's gonna be a lot of cliches on what I'm about to say, okay? So
we
you
live
can
for
comment
cliches.
if you want, or you know what? If you're doing the Cinco de Mayo, you just take a shot every time I throw a cliche. Ready, AJ? Where's my bottle? So check this out. A lot of people say, hey, let me teach you this so you don't have to do it the way I did it. And you still have to go through your own troubles, right? But I did try to keep in mind what are those things that I see other people doing that I don't like, that is no bueno, and then go ahead and just stick to the good stuff. And people like Jim Klingbill and Jeff Maxick, who actually are with Avantex right now, and Brian Roeder that I used to work with, a great friend of mine. And these are people that have just taught me different things that I wanted to grasp onto. So in moving into starting my own business, I figure all I had to do is just stick to what I need in order to make that happen. And I think the hardest part is that once you're in the grind, those things that you learn that you think, oh, it's just gonna be easy peasy, is really hard. So I was telling AJ in preparation for this thing, is when starting this whole business, I'm sorry, I'm doing this little pitch here for the company, how we operate, is I always keep hearing from books about core values. So I stuck to 3. And I keep using them over and over and over again for anything, for the meetings, even with my own partner, Dave Ecton. Shout out to Dave Ecton. Is great communication, prompt service, and presentation, right? Those 3 things were key every single time. And prompt service, be there, answer the call, make the phone call, respond quickly, right? Very quickly. Number 2 is the communication piece, which is communicate so that people know what you're up to, so that they know what's happening. And the last one is presentation. And I think that has been really, really key with us. Looking good, looking presentable, having people that speaks, proper English when they arrive at the house. Thank you, man. Thank you, sir. And then just be myself. So that part is easy for me because I am a social butterfly. So if I had to do nothing but just visit people and make them happy and solve their problems, that will be great. So sticking to those things were very important for me. And that has helped me tremendously.
There's so much great advice in what you just said, because you've got 3 core values that you live up to personally. It's easy for you to rattle those off. It's easy for you to explain the why behind the fact that those are your core values and how you apply that to everything you do, right? So I think that's a great piece of advice. But I want to mention something that I sort of picked up in between, which is you mentioned a lot of other people, some of which are maybe even your competitors that you've been networking with and mentoring or getting mentored from and picking up, information from. So I think that's another important thing about our industry that's so great. If you embrace, that communal part of our business, you're going to have a bunch of people that are going to want to see you succeed, right?
Correct. Yeah. And that's one thing that I actually really enjoy about. Someone told me once, I don't know who it was. It could have been Brian Pelletier, for all I know, which is an incredible guy. I really like Brian Pelletier. He's fantastic, right, AJ? So
a lot to live up to, AJ.
AJ,
no, he's great.
He sent me a message about am I better than Brian, or tell me how I'm better than Brian. And I said, well, if Brian is 100, then what did I say, AJ?
192. 192.
No, I'm pretty sure that it was 37. 37%.
Hey,
so you can
what I see higher. There is, AJ, a lot of room for growth, buddy.
That's what I told him.
I said 37% full. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
I said I'm sandbagging. That's what I mean.
That's awesome. Well, hey, you've jumped into this industry in a time where technology is almost like a norm, right? Well, looks like we lost. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude,
gosh.
Brian he FaceTime bombed our Pro Talk. Wow. Well, hi, Brian.
Oh, that's right. You cannot hear him. Oh,
yeah. That's rubbing it in. AJ.
That's enough. We don't need to hear him. We're good.
This guy right here.
And he even brought Mike Holmes with him. Wow. Yeah. You are one lucky dude, Angel, to have such a great former rep.
Yeah. Who's this guy?
Oh man. Well, hey, while we're saying hi to Brian, let me shout out a few more people that jumped on. We got Kathy is joining us. James Martin is falling off his chair laughing at all these knuckleheads. And then Samantha and John Elizondo is also here. So thank you guys for being here on Atlas Pro Talk Live. So I want to ask you a question about technology and some of the things you guys have adopted. What have you used? I see like on your website, I'm going to pull this up. You guys are using drones for marketing and photos. What other technology have you guys adopted? What have you played around with? What's working? What's not? Give me a sense of what you guys are doing.
So we're really trying to keep things simple and then just grow organically. And I think that the drone has actually been key. Of course, we use Eagle View for our inspections, Eagle View for all the measurements that we need. We have also used Hover, which is incredible to be able to show clients what their house is going to potentially look like with different looks. And then Job Nimbus, which is a software that we use for CRM, that has been fantastic. But we have dedicated more time into the personal touch. I do say sometimes to clients very, cliche, that we are a small company, like a boutique, but without boutique prices, because we really want to, instead of doing so much volume and doing a crappy job, we would like to keep it very nice and tight and be able to provide good service. The drones, the photos, the Facebook pages, postings, and our relationships. I do have to say, man, and I'm gonna throw this back at Atlas, and this is gonna sound like I'm being paid by Atlas to say this, but I was with AJ and Brian over at the Atlas. What do you call it? The Atlas.
The Hampton Research and Development Plant, tour.
Yes, the plant. We did the plant tour. And at one point I had a chance to be able to speak up. And the thing is that in order for me to keep those 3 core values, it was key for me to be able to have people that are also going to be in the same mindset to be able to help me with my business. So Complete Supply, Justin and John Carl, Complete Supply, they're incredible. They actually live up by that mantra as well. So they always have their trucks clean. They don't have any spills when they show up. They always have the pallets nice and presentable and stacked. So that shows that presentation from my side. And then we have Atlas, which for me is so easy to sell because it sells itself, not just the product, but the people that I'm working with. And in going to the strip, with Brian and then AJ, which I've met just probably once prior to that, it was so nice to be able to have a transition to a person that has that same core value. And Atlas fits like right there, is almost like a perfect partnership. There's a metaphor, which is the Toyota Supra, they just made a new one out.
Yeah.
And they actually put a BMW engine on it. And I was thinking, this is ridiculous. Why would they do that? But it makes sense. If you have a company that is actually sharing the same values and providing you with that awesome engine for that vehicle, then why not? So in the deliveries to the actual material that I use to be able to sell it and have the tools to do it, and it's fantastic for my company and for what I need. And if I ever have anybody ever calling any of my reps from Atlas or any of the people from Complete Supply, I know that they know how to speak to them. They will be able to back me up and be able to be just a support to my company instead of just being a hassle.
I think it's a great point. We appreciate the kudos. I think it's a lot of that goes down to the local reps, caring, and the local distribution that it's people, right? And I think that's a really good lesson. Like when you have established core values for your business, you're going to take those with you in evaluating every relationship that you have, right? Especially in business, your suppliers, your manufacturing partnerships, your technology partnerships, are they helping to keep up that reputation that your core values are feeding, or are they taking away from it, or are they not doing anything? Is it neutral? And so I think if you evaluate it, those things, you brought up some great companies, right? Communication and presentation, Hover, Eagle View, right? That helps feed both of those things. Job Nimbus, right? Keeping you connected and communicating with customers in an efficient way, keeping your people connected, right? And you mentioned your suppliers, you couldn't have a better one, right? Really and truly.
Amen.
They just absolutely get it, family business, independent business, those are, becoming harder to find these days, and there's still a lot of great ones out there. But I think those are, really, really important things that you get to evaluate and take with you in everything you do.
And you stand, bro, man, and you're killing it with the marketing. I love it. I get excited just thinking about, because I do want everybody to grow. And we're talking about something earlier is there's so much business in this roofing industry that I don't feel like I have competition. What I have is just a bunch of other guys that are trying to do the exact same thing. So I do come across a lot of people sometimes that need help starting their own business, and I just help them by teaching them what they need to do to be able to move forward. And I make some great friends, man. It's been incredible.
Hey, Angel, I liked what we were talking about yesterday. You were saying that it seems like the guys from Atlas, or the contractors that use Atlas, it's like this cult mentality, right?
Yeah,
like we're all kind of like
in a good way,
in a really good. I mean,
there was no Kool-Aid, man.
No Kool-Aid. No, it was the cult without the Kool-Aid, but it was just like there's like this. It's like everybody's kind of cut from the same cloth type of vibe, which is cool. So,
and you know how I knew at one point that Atlas was actually the thing for me or for us. Dave Ekman too is trying to call me right now. Is that the last thing I asked was, do you guys have any rebates? Like that wasn't even the first thing. I know that for many contractors, that's the thing. For me is, are you going to make my life easier? And that's what you guys are doing for me, which is awesome.
It's so funny you say that, because that is really, truly part of the conversation in sales training is like, there's rebates out there, there's programs out there, we're not going to get into that on this call, but if that is the last thing that is brought up in a conversation, you have done your job, right? You've shown more value, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be boiled down to their price, right? And it's essentially any kind of a program, any kind of discount you get, your price it's all price, right? However you want to look at it. At the end of the day, our job is to bring so much value in the relationship and the product, et cetera. And I think as a contractor, as an owner of a business, as a salesperson for a contractor, that's your goal too, man. Like your goal is to go out and have the homeowner not think about your price until the very end, right? But if they're preoccupied by your price the whole time, you're not doing a very good sales job, right? And I think it applies to everything all of us do in this whole channel,
Correct. And encouragement to people out there, and I'm gonna get all geeky here because AJ was telling me yesterday, do you actually created a spreadsheet for this? I with the 3 core values, when I first started, first year 1, I started checking out my Google reviews, and I was checking to see if that was tracking, to see if the word great communication, prompt service was actually part of it. And then AJ said, you actually made a spreadsheet? I'm like, yes, I did. So I actually made a spreadsheet with pies and everything, saying, but the whole thing is, if you actually do stick to those core values and you keep them in mind and continue explaining those to your team, that eventually is going to become the trend for your company, and it's going to show in the reviews. And of course, there has been a lot of moments in which their homeowners are not happy or complaining, and that's where we shine the best, because that's where we actually come in and we just shower them with even more love. So
that is huge, man. If you are watching this, I hope you guys took a note right now with
cliches, man. Cliches. I'm sorry.
No, it's not cliche. There were some pretty interesting things. This is little things that you're doing that I don't think necessarily everybody's doing, right? I think some people are, right? You know, and you probably heard from some others, but you are looking at your Google reviews and you're trying to figure out if the core values, the language, the feels, so to speak, are actually translating to your reviews. Like, I've never heard somebody present it to me that way. That's the first time I've heard somebody say, I'm actually looking for those words, man. I mean, that is really good stuff, right? So I think that's a great piece of advice if you're watching this. You know, if you have core values and or things that you want customers to feel about your business, do they actually feel about it? Our reputation and our personal brand, so to speak, it's sort of that collision course, right, between what we feel about ourselves, what we think we want to be, and what people actually think about us. That's what makes our personal brand up and our company brand up. So we've got to make sure we're actually paying attention to what people are saying about us, not just what we're saying about ourselves.
Yeah, with intention, man, with a lot of intention. And that's one thing that I do notice about Atlas. They are very intentional about how they do things in order to service us. Something that actually got me, sorry, I'm raving about you guys, but when you had the presentation, it was at the Topgolf. You mentioned something about how you want to be the contractor's brand of choice and not the homeowner's brand of choice. Mm-hmm. And when I heard that, I'm like, oh man, that sounds so good. But it's actually true. We love the brand because we love the people behind it.
Right.
And that's it. So sometimes my wife says, you know what, let's get out of this cold weather and let's go to Texas or Florida. And I'm like, I don't know if I can move away from the people that I'm already establishing these relationships, and if my business is going to be the same or as functional or as successful. But I'm assuming that there's other AJs down in Florida.
There's no other AJ, man.
There's no other AJ.
I'm kidding. I'm with AJ. This guy.
And I am not leaving the beautiful state of Chicago. So no.
State of Chicago.
Yeah, the state of Chicago.
Let me give a quick shout out. We got a bunch of other people going on. I have to bring this up. Speaking of cliches, drinking the Kool-Aid, there's probably a lot of people watching that really don't know that reference. You know, AJ, I don't even know if you do, man. You're kind of a baby face over there. So
I've been growing out my beard. What are you talking about?
Anyway, well, I always find that funny. I was talking about that with somebody the other day. Where does that drink the Kool-Aid even come from?
Drinking the Kool-Aid, yeah. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm not quite sure.
One of those cults. But we got Stephanie on, James, Colleen, what's up? Justin is in the house. Jeff joined us from Alabama. James Martin's here, man. He was talking about drinking the Kool-Aid. Lauren.
Yep, he was.
So a lot of good stuff. You know, somebody made a great comment. Business cliches only stick around if people are actually using them and they're working, right? You know, own the fact that you're using them. It's great, right? You know, I think we've got to have things that unify us and drive us. Cliches are okay as long as it's not just words. Words alone are cliche. Words plus action, I think, is where culture comes in. So
I agree with that.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. So I want to ask you about something else here. So you guys still do some home shows. Home shows seem to be a thing that is still more prevalent in the north, maybe when the weather's colder, right? Are home shows still working? What's been your experience with that?
You mean like going to expos and things like that?
Yeah, expos, like where homeowners are coming in. Like, is that still, do you get good leads from something like that? I saw on your website you guys had a booth or a table set up at an expo.
Yeah.
How does that work relative to other things?
No, that was great. That was for the CAI, the Community Association Institute, because we do engage in a lot of big association projects and capital, improvements. And that was, that's my partner with the blue jacket right there, Dave Ecton. He's incredible.
Dave. Hey, Dave.
He's another one that just shares my core values with me in tandem. And if it wasn't for him, man, this would not be happening right now. those shows is incredible. That part is easy for me. Everything else is hard because I get to socialize, I get to interact, I get to see new faces, and also say hi to old friends. And in this particular CAI Expo, we get to meet a lot of our competition, and
Right.
it's incredible how everybody just knows each other already, and we actually rooting for each other. At least that's how I see it. Some other people may not, but I'm always willing to just engage with others and learn from them. Especially Jim Cleanbill, I see him popping up every once in a while, and he was actually key to my training back in that original company.
Awesome.
So I do encourage people to do this, even if it is just to get your face out there.
Try it, I think, and then I think you're touching on something too, are the associations, CRCA and other associations, anywhere where you can be networking, getting education, best practices is really important, especially during those slower, cold months. So I got to bring something up here, man. I got to show something. I don't know if I'm going to show the whole video. Last year, you literally like made my day, and I had a good birthday. I always try to have a good mindset, but you literally made my day last year when I get this video message from you.
I look good.
Feliz cumpleaños, right? On my birthday from Chicago, man. So my birthday's coming up in June. I'm hoping big things, man. I hope I get another birthday wish call. You and AJ may need to do it tandem. So.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
I'll play a little bit of it.
And you probably don't know me, but here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, he's covered his face. Oh, so, all right, that's enough. I've embarrassed him enough. We're done with that.
Oh man.
That sexy voice is incredible.
Hey, listen, you put that out on Facebook, so you can't be that embarrassed by it.
I love it, man. I love
Angel,
it.
my
And
birthday's
just
in
met you
October,
at that
bro.
point. Yes.
Everybody's gonna expect that now.
Yeah. No.
That's fantastic.
Oh, good stuff.
Actually,
So,
Brian did ask me for one, and because he
when
was
is
so
Brian's
jealous.
birthday?
I have no
Anybody know?
idea.
All right, Brian,
No.
if you're watching, you got a couple minutes left to get it in the chat so we see it. We got a couple minute delay. But let's talk family, guys. Let's talk about what's been happening with family. AJ, we heard you got a new baby. You also got 2 others at home, man. You got 3 under 5. AJ, tell us how life's been like at home, man. Give us a sense of that asphalt diaper life.
It's asphalt diaper life. That's got a nice ring to it. It's been good. I mean, it's been, at first it was a little bit rough trying to figure out like the balance between, you know, daddy's on a phone call, go away, don't scream at me, please, and just go over there and play. But things have been good. We're as the weather's breaking a little bit by a little bit here, we're able to go on more walks and get more outside. But I mean, gosh, when this started for us, I think it was April or March 21st, the order was put in to shelter in place. It was still cold and it snowed a couple times. And so
How long has it been?
It's been a long time.
It started this whole thing.
We're coming up on, I think it's been 6 or 7 weeks. I mean, we started March 17th was our official day. It was like, I remember because it was St. Patrick's Day. I was supposed to be in Providence, Rhode Island, having a green beer with Gus Hawkins. So I didn't get there though, unfortunately.
Yeah. But it's been good. It's been, I mean, I think just getting around, walking the dogs and just work-life balance has changed, but it's been all for the best.
I got to mention this while I see it, Angel, because I think you have a potential customer here. This guy's got a roof leak, man. You see that behind him, that ceiling panel? Ooh, man, I'm telling you, you might need to go make an inspection. Yep. Oh, he blocked.
Oh, he lives a little too far.
No, you know what that was? Okay. Know what that was? I am in my basement, and that is from a leaky spigot.
Okay.
And I knew, man.
Good call.
It was coming. I knew it. Very observant crowd here on Atlas Pro Talk, AJ.
Yeah.
So.
I do see him like moving his head every once in a while, trying to cover it.
Look at me.
All
right. Well, tell me a little bit, Angel, about what's been going on with your family. You got 3 kids as well. Your wife is still working, but also trying to help manage the family life while you're out doing your thing. What's happening?
No, they have been incredible. My wife is fantastic. And then my kids are 13, 15-year-old girls and a 10-year-old boy.
Awesome.
And they love it. Just imagine, man, having no school, like someone actually says you are done for the year. All you have to do is a couple of hours a day. is heaven for them. I wish. Enough said. I cannot say I wish anything because, of course, we don't want this thing that's going on. But they understand, the struggles. They understand that they have to do their part, and it's been interesting, man. I cannot believe this is still happening.
Yeah, it is definitely surreal. I think that everybody continues to have that experience with it. Frustration, surreal, enjoying the family time, trying to adapt. I think there's like so many range of emotions that, we've talked about that a lot, but I think, if you can find ways to embrace it, our kids have had a mix of that, right? They've enjoyed that, but we probably kept the pressure up a little bit, especially on our 12-year-old, maybe more than we need to. So I hope he's not watching.
Oh, by the way, great innovation, man. I know a lot of people are doing this, but to stay, up and running with Alice and the advertising and the marketing. Good job on this videos, man. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's good. And it gives us a chance to stay connected with people. And I think people watching this are hopefully feeling that way too, that they get a chance to stay connected. We can't go do these B2B events, which we love to do. We love to get out and see people and talk to people and hear from people. And, when you lose that, you got to find a way to replace that and still get the same opportunities to learn and grow from each other. So that's what this is all about. You're getting a bunch of shout outs here. We're getting close to the end. So here's a couple of them here from Angel should talk about how his humor and positive outlook have helped him in the workplace and dealing with day-to-day issues. So that sounds to be like that's from somebody that's seen you in action and know
awesome.
that
Thank you.
Really, really positive outlook. That's from Justin. Mark Pelletier says, looks good. Angel makes the best happy birthday videos. And then Justin also gives you props, AJ, because you are still answering the call or calling back right away, even with a crying baby in the background. And
that's incredible,
man. That's part of that communication, man, caring about your customers. So,
amen.
So guys, let's talk closing thoughts here. Give somebody a positive outlook heading into the rest of their week, their month, their year. AJ, let's start with you, man. Shout out to the world.
Atlas is open. I mean, we're no, it's just
triangles.
That's right. No, we moving from Brian and I, and for those of you who had Brian as a rep, I'm going to try to fill his shoes the best I can, but I'm looking forward, and I'm really sorry that all this happened where I can't come out and meet you, but we'll do the best that we can I'll do the best I can to get to know you as fast as I can, but hey, we will get through this, and we'll get on the other side of this pandemic, and we'll keep rolling. So I'm excited.
Yep, we're going to innovate. We're going to change. We're going to adapt for the better. And AJ's your guy in Chicago, man. So give him a call. And Brian's not going anywhere. He's still with Atlas, but moving on to some good things. So officially, Brian, welcome to National Accounts, and good luck with your new boss. I hear he's a real tough cookie. Angel, how about you, man? Closing thoughts for the roofing community, the Asphalt Life community, watching you all around the country, man. You are a great success story and somebody who just is getting it buying in. So what are your thoughts for folks out there trying to replicate and do some of the great things you're doing?
No, I think I said pretty much what I said, but I do get with the people that can feel those gaps of, the things that there's so many things that I'm not going to make a list here of the things that I suck at. But do find those people and do latch on to people that you actually like. I love every time AJ calls or Brian. And if Stan ever calls me, then I'll take his calls too. But it's just, if you aren't loving the people you're with, just life's because so much more easy, so much better. And don't be afraid to just ask for help. There's people out there that are willing to do that for you.
I love that. I'm going to actually go do that tonight. I'm going to make a list of things I suck at. So I'm sure I can get some help. I'm filling that in from some other people. That's pretty good.
We're in a shelter in place. We have
to
start making a list of what we're bad at. That sounds awful.
Angel, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, man. I cannot wait to see you up in Chicago, man, when we get back up there again. AJ, you too, buddy, and good luck with the new baby and everything happening. Our Asphalt Life prize pack winners today are James Martin and Justin. Justin actually had a hat delivered to him by a drone. So let's see if AJ could top that and deliver his Asphalt Life prize pack by drone too. So
I was thinking UPS would be pretty good too.
Might work better.
By the way, I need a hat because I'm wearing my Puerto Rico hat today, and it's because they keep stealing my Alice hats. They're like coveted items. Everybody just keeps snatching them from me. So I don't have a single one. I was literally looking for one and I couldn't.
I think we can make that happen. So AJ, sounds like you. Well, no, he's shaking his
No,
head.
that's fine. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Let's talk offline.
Good stuff. Well, hey,
Thank you,
Asphalt
guys.
Lifers, we'll see you next time. We've just a couple quick reminders on Friday of this week. We've got another great edition of Atlas Pro Talk. Next week, Tuesday, we are going to be joined by Mike Holmes Jr. So Mike Holmes Jr. is going to be on Atlas Pro Talk a week from today. And then coming up in a couple of weeks, we have a very, very fun announcement that we're going to save for our next episode. So you are not going to want to miss this. So a couple weeks from now, we'll have a celebrity guest on Atlas Pro Talk. Anyway, we love you guys. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you guys. Angel, thanks, buddy.
Thank
See
you.
guys.